Hey, what's going on, guys? We're live again with another video. The weekend game has been wrapped up. Arsenal drew 2-2 at home at the Emirates to Liverpool, and Arne Slot's first time at the Emirates getting a draw. Points shared between the two teams. We did look at the match reaction right after the game just the other day. We talked about the performance. We talked about players that shined. We talked about players that could have stepped up and how the game actually went, alongside the some of the refereeing, officiating decisions in the game. Now we're gonna look ahead at the upcoming game in the cup against Preston away, and some opportunity for the youth players like Ethan Waneri, Miles Lewis Skelly, Heaven, Sweet, some of these kids to play, essentially our B team to play, or you could say our B/C team to play against Preston in the cup away from home. Um, I believe that game will be on Wednesday night. Those of you traveling all the way to Preston away on midweek, a cold, wet night probably in Preston. Enjoy the game. Hopefully, we get a win. And more importantly, we want to see the youth play, given opportunities to perform. These are where we're going to see them get minutes and hopefully be able to shine and get game time under their belt, which will also help give them some confidence as well. So, before we get into the video, it was for me a good result for Arsenal. It's not the worst result to get a draw against Liverpool at home. The points are shared in the end at the Emirates. I think I'm sick and tired of talking about the refereeing and the officiating decisions. It feels like every game we're getting screwed over. And sometimes people ask, who's the referee for the next game? Oh, who's the referee for Newcastle away, which we have coming up, by the way. It doesn't matter at this point. It seems like they're all cut from the same cloth and they're just as bad as each other. Shout out to Chris. Big up to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're up quite late. Good luck to Leicester this season. I know you guys have had some ups and downs, but hopefully you guys stay up. And you, in my opinion, you deserve to stay up. And I have a soft spot for Leicester ever since meeting you and Brad, as well as Craig, very good friends of mine, fellow Foxes. But Chris, don't forget, I'll always be there spotting some players at Leicester. Whenever I feel like I want to do some transfer business, I'll be there. Hi, Mitchie. Good stream last night. I did tune into your review stream. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning and you went live. So I couldn't fall asleep. I know I'm in a different country, but I think the adrenaline rush is still always with me whenever I travel. And now it's like going down slowly because I'm soon going to be back at work in a few days and back to the routine. You are an honorary Fox. Chris, we couldn't do a preview for Leicester because you were too busy on holiday enjoying yourself in Australia. But next time when we play you guys at the reverse fixture, hopefully we'll be able to do a video. We haven't done a stream together in a long time. More importantly, we need to have a proper catch up, and hopefully next summer we'll see you in Canada in my backyard. But Chris, I'm glad you had a good time on holiday. You deserve it. And it was nice to see you step out of your comfort zone going so far to Australia, but it looks like you had a really good time. It's just a shame you didn't take any of us with you. I think that's why they call it a holiday, by the way. Guys, we're going to cue the intro and we're going to go straight into a look ahead at the upcoming games. Arsenal now have away games on the bounce in just a couple of days. We will be playing Preston away. Then we have Newcastle away at St. James Park and Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. I am trying to get a ticket to the Newcastle game, but away games are kind of hard to get to. It is a points-based system, and Newcastle isn't the easiest ground to go to from London. It's quite a trek. I would love to go, and I've never been to St. James Park, so I would really like to go in another stadium. I really want to go to this season before it gets destroyed. Is Goodison Park, Everton. Everton Stadium is going to get destroyed at the end of this season, so it would be incredible to go there. But I know away tickets are going to be quite a fortune for that game, especially. Steve, big up to you. I'm just coming on from a famous win versus superstar Fernando Torres and Harry Kane. Steve, I think you've been playing FIFA too much. Chelsea, Mitchie boy, he says the football drug. Yeah, Mitchie, you were live really late last night, but I did catch you live for a bit before I went live for my reaction of the game. Steve, I think Morton is only rotation for slot for Brighton. Yeah, you guys are playing Brighton in the cup and also Brighton in the league. Um, in the weekend at on Anfield. I think that's an easy game for you guys. But then again, you lost to Forest at Anfield. Forest are no pushovers, though. Let's be clear. I think Forest are doing quite well this year and surprising a lot of people. Scott, big up to you. He said Villa Park is a must visit too. I've not been to Villa Park. I really like Ollie Watkins. It would be cool to meet him. I wish he would play for Arsenal. I know he's an Arsenal fan, but we can't have everything we wish for. It's PES, not FIFA. Oh, all right, Steve. PES Mobile. Big up to Gunners Go. He's going 6-0 Arsenal against Preston. Wow, that's a high score line. I do think we're going to rotate our squad. We have no update as of this moment for Gabriel Magalhaes' injury concerns. It looks like it was a knee-related injury concern. As I mentioned in my match reaction yesterday, I am not a doctor or physio. No one qualified. I'm not going to make estimates on someone's injury times. I'm not the channel that's going to do that. Other channels are available if you want inaccurate information. Hi Patrick, big up to you. I saw you live earlier today for the Ten Hag news. It's a shame they finally got rid of him. And it looks like they're gonna be talking to the Sporting Lisbon manager to take over. Seems like they're gonna be asking for him to, if he's interested to take the job. Amiron. Ethan Waneri is gonna cook. I agree with this, and I also want him to play, get more minutes under his belt. He came on against Liverpool. We saw Miles Lewis Skelly come on against Liverpool. Although Miles Lewis Skelly made a mistake, they're young and they're still gonna learn, and they're gonna make mistakes throughout learning. But that's how players gonna develop and players gonna improve from their mistakes. Arsenal are bad, says I touch dead pigeons. Your channel name speaks for itself, and I disagree with this. I don't think Arsenal are bad. When other teams drop points, nobody says it's a must-win game for them. But all of a sudden, when it's Arsenal, every game is a must-win. The media always portrays us as every game is a must-win game for us. Have you heard if Tommy is fit yet? There is no update on Tomiyasu. Arteta did not give any update on Tomiyasu, neither did Charles Watts or any other credible journalist. We haven't heard anything back. With Odegaard, we did receive an update today that he's still under recovery. I think ZRAFC posted earlier today Odegaard related update. I'm just pulling it up now. He said Odegaard is taking a significant step towards fitness, with the 25-year-old scheduled to return to training on the grass this week. There's also hope that both Gabriel and Timber, who limped off during Sunday's game, will not be long-term injuries. So that's the only thing we know about Gabriel and Timber's injuries during the Liverpool game. And that's from Sami Mokbel, who is a credible reporter for the Daily Mail. Captain Jorginho for Preston. Yeah, I would rest Saka. I think Saka deserves a rest. I know against Bournemouth he was rested, and look how well he was my man of the match against Liverpool. Saka was phenomenal, and that partnership of Saka and Ben White isn't given enough credit. The way those two link up is really, they make it look so effortlessly on the pitch. Brighton are 6, not 5, so just outside of Europe. Not bad start by Hurzuler. The Brighton manager is really young too. I think he's the youngest manager in the Premier League. My boy Fabrizio has also done an Odegaard update. Yes, he did. Also, Rodri won Ballon d'Or today. I can't stand Rodri, but you have to be honest, he deserves a Ballon d'Or. He's an incredible talent and an incredible player in the league. Do you think Tierney will ever play for us again? Also, must be a wake-up call for Zinchenko that Miles Lewis Skelly is ahead of him in the pecking order. Scott, yesterday on my match reaction, I said Arteta does not trust Zinchenko defensively, I think, because if he's starting an academy kid ahead of Zinchenko, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes in the sense of how far back Zinchenko is now in the pecking order, and I don't think he has a future at Arsenal Football Club anymore. I think his time is soon coming to an end, if I'm being honest with you. And with Tierney, it's a shame. He was so good for us, but it's just the injuries. He's become an injury-prone player, and you got to say it how it is. I hope Tierney would be fit again, but I think we would be looking to sell him, and we couldn't sell him this summer because he got injured. And even when we bought Tierney, surprisingly, he was injured as well. Saka sent Andrew Robertson back to Hull City. That's probably my pinned comment. I go 3-2 LFC since LFC struggle versus Brighton. I think, but he has Liverpool to get the win. Ferguson back and points on my FPL for Brighton. Zinchenko would cook at a team like Brentford. Yeah, I think it's the system that we play. I don't think it suits Zinchenko, and and I think sometimes for us he's defensively liable at sometimes. And Chiesa needs cup games to get his fitness back. Yes, he is injury prone as well, and I think Liverpool only signed Chiesa because it was a cheap transfer option for FSG at the moment in terms of what was available in the market. Um, for the Preston game, I want to see some players rested, key players rested, like Saka. At the moment, if Gabriel Magalhaes is not fit, that means that we will have to play Kivior or Zinchenko. And same thing with Timber. If they're not fit, Ben White center back. If we have to, but I think Saliba will play. Saliba, I don't know if he'll play this game. He is available to play, but I would rest him. And it shows that you can rest Saliba and play Ben White at center back. Ben White did a job yesterday, and a lot of the times he never gets the credit he deserves. With Ben White, he never gets his praises. He's always because of how good Gabriel and Saliba are. Ben White never gets the dues that he deserves, I feel. And against Liverpool, he was really good. Looking into the Preston game, I think, of course, we shouldn't underestimate Preston, but come on, we're a much better team and we have a stronger team than them. I do think we'll rotate our team to give some kids a chance. Maybe the likes of Heaven, Sweet, Miles Lewis Skelly, Ethan Waneri. These are the academy kids we'll see. But even the likes of Kiwior and Zinchenko might get in the starting 11 for this one. And I would rest Saka for this game. I think this is a game for Jorginho, where Jorginho will play. Sterling will play. Jesus. We didn't see any minutes for Sterling against Liverpool, rightfully so. And we also didn't see any minutes for Jorginho against Liverpool. I don't think it was a game for Jorginho. The same thing I'll say. I don't think it was a game really for Sterling to come in the pitch. I know Jesus was that goal that was disallowed, the third goal with Jesus and Havertz, but I don't think Jesus really offered much other than that goal in his appearance off the bench in the second half of the Liverpool game. But my key point is I think Arsenal should and would rotate their squad for Preston midweek. Later on, after that, we now have away games on the bounce. We have Newcastle away at St. James Park. Last season, guys, we had a controversial VAR decision. It seems like I'm repeating myself, but yeah, last season VAR screwed us over, and against Newcastle, we didn't get a result in our favor. So hopefully we can get revenge against Newcastle this season, get all 3 points. Newcastle have not been great this season. Yes, they have Alexander Isak, but I don't think they've been as good as they have been known to be. Newcastle, I don't think are much of a threat this season so far. Yes, it's early in the season, and the league table can change around, but I do think that Newcastle are a team that we should be peppering. And if we don't finish our chances in the first half, take our chances in the first half, or improve our finishing in the final third, we will allow Newcastle to get into gear and start to get into the game, to grow into the game. John, fellow Magpie fan, Newcastle fan, John Sinclair, he says, "Big up, Miss Melina. Hope you're well. Great show. Keep up the good work as always." John, we're playing you this weekend away from home. It's last season we were robbed, just like Will says. Well, big up to you. Nice meeting you the other day. Um, that game was where we dropped points, and we shouldn't be dropping points in those games. We were the better team, I feel, and again, VAR decision costing us. Just like Gunnar Goat says, this season refs have screwed us over unfair red cards. All of a sudden, the Liverpool players, more than 2 times, Liverpool players delayed the restart, and all of a sudden that's not a thing anymore. But when Declan Rice did it, all of a sudden it's not allowed when Arsenal do it. Scott says, "Have a good show. Long cutting time here in New Zealand." Oh, I have another friend. His name is Randy. He's also from New Zealand, and he's an Arsenal fan. Um, Big up to you, Scott. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, I'm going to go through my lineup for Preston. I know there's still a few days before the Preston game, but I thought I'll get this um, in early. I'm trying to be consistent on YouTube. I know I always say that and sometimes don't follow through, but so far I have been consistent, so you got to give me some credit for that. In goal, Raya, because the other goalkeeper that we signed is cup tied, so we can't play him. Then Zinchenko, Kivior, Saliba or Gabriel, depending on who is available. I don't think Gabriel is available, and I wouldn't play him because he did come off the pitch with an injury. So Saliba for me, and then Lewis Skelly. Uh, midfield midfield three is Marino, Jorginho, and Ethan Waneri. Then the front three is Sterling, Trossard, and Jesus. Jesus gonna be in a right wing, or Jesus going to be right wing. I think Jesus is much more useful in right wing than in up front as a striker. And I would rest Havertz for this game. Havertz has been playing full 90 minutes back to back games, and even yet against Liverpool, he really pushed hard in the second half. Havertz was really trying it hard in our attack in the second half to get us that third goal we needed. So for me, this would be my lineup, and my attacking three again would be Sterling, Trossard, and Jesus. Guys, in the comments below, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this on Twitter, comment down below your predicted 11 for the Preston away game in the League Cup. Then we're going to have Newcastle away on the road, Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge, and then we're off to Italy at the San Siro, Inter Milan away. I was unsuccessful in getting tickets from my local supporters club for Inter Milan away. So me and my friend Luca were not able to go to Inter Milan away. I know tickets are being resold for quite cheap, but unfortunately, booking a flight so late, the tickets are much more expensive than what it would have been if we had got our tickets early and sorted our flights early on. I wasn't successful in getting game tickets, so unfortunately, no Inter Milan away for me. I hope during the knockout stages, when we get to the round of 16, hopefully Arsenal make it to the top eight first and foremost, so we don't have a playoffs with this new Champions League format. But I hope Arsenal get a good away team again, so I can go to one of those European away games. Last season, you guys saw or may have heard that I went to Bayern Munich away. Incredible stadium, Allianz Arena. Again, the result didn't go our way, and we actually didn't deserve to win that game. We were really poor in the away leg. Our players didn't turn up, and we just looked like a lackluster. Collectively, as a team, we didn't turn up, but it was an incredible stadium to go to and an incredible experience for an European away trip. I really enjoyed it. It was much further than coming to London from Canada, but I really enjoyed it, and it was worth every penny and every moment of my time to go watch Arsenal near and far, land and sea. Um, Quite literally, I should say, because I travel across the pond. Guys, let me know your predicted lineup for the Preston away game. I am going to be doing a preview for Newcastle later this week when I get back home. Um, we'll do a breakdown of Newcastle's game. Maybe I'll try to get a Newcastle fan on to get an opposition fan view. It might be a bit hard, but I'll try my best. I'm trying to do this consistently. Just so that you guys know I'm active and not a ghost channel. I know sometimes I haven't uploaded for some time because I've been busy with work and my day job is quite hectic sometimes. Big up to Jordan. Again, Liverpool fans in the chat, fair play. Points are shared at the Emirates. No hard feelings between the two teams. These are two teams that could and well truly be in the title race this season. But there is a lot of games still to be played. And for me, some of the Arsenal fans saying, and I say Arsenal fans loosely because they're already saying the league title is over because we drew to Liverpool, which I think is ridiculous. It's very reactionary, and some of these channels just doing it for clicks. I'm not going to name any names, but if the shoe fits, then you already know what I'm talking about. Um, Jordan says, I know a Newcastle United fan, Mel. Thanks, Jordan. I think I do as well. So I'll try to do a opposition preview. I think that'll be more entertaining for the viewers to watch and also hear a different perspective from a Newcastle fan and how their season's been so far. Because I don't think well and truly, that their season's been off to a bright start. I don't think it's been a bed of roses at all. Newcastle have not had a solid start so far this season, and it's shown on the pitch. Um, Last season, Newcastle, it's time for us to get revenge. We got revenge against Unai Emery's Villa at Villa Park. And now it's time for us to beat Newcastle. But first, let's go and destroy Preston, get a high scoring game, get the academy kids going, and rotate the squad. Give some of our key players a much needed rest and a break. Big up to James. Hope you're well. Yes, Melina, what's happening? Come on, you Gunners, and hope you're feeling better. Thanks a lot, James. I'm much better now. I saw you're going live for gaming. I'll tune in once my stream's done. Um, Good to see you active again on your channel as well. Steve says, I know two Newcastle fans. Steve, I only know one, I believe. Sorry, I do know two. I know Steve McCullough. He's a Newcastle fan, and he watches a lot of leagues. Um, Big up to Steve, and big up to John Sinclair. He's also another Newcastle fan. So check out his channel as well. He does a lot of regular content for Newcastle fans, and he's quite balanced in his opinions as well. Same thing with Steve. Steve goes a lot on Sarcasm City. Guys, if you gonna give me a score prediction for this game, realistic score prediction. I know Gunner's Goat said 6-0. That couldn't well truly be realistic. I'm gonna go 4-1 Arsenal win away from home at Preston. Um, Big up to Chris. Thanks for joining. It was really fun today. Me and Chris went to play darts. We I think Chris beat me by one more game, but it was really competitive and it was nice. It was my second time playing darts, and I'm starting to get the hang of it a little bit. But I think Chris was going easy on me and being nice as a friend. But it was a great time. Hopefully we meet up again sometime when I'm back in London, or you visit Canada. Jordan says 3-0 Arsenal win against Preston. I'm going to go 4-1 Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet. As much as I say we should rotate the squad, some of the players are not as experienced as our first team players. They're bench players or a B team for a reason, as you would say. And I don't think we would win this game without conceding, unfortunately. Can't wait to see Ballon d'Or reactions. Yes, it was announced that Rodri has won the Ballon d'Or. And I think Emiliano Martinez won a goalkeeper trophy at the Ballon d'Or Best Goalkeeper. Um, I don't even know why he won the award. I think Ederson should have won it. It's quite crazy, these Ballon d'Or nominations. That's a good stream to do. That might be some people doing reactions to the Ballon d'Or list. I think Lunin was another keeper that was better than Emiliano Martinez. Ederson, you could say. And even even you can say even some shouts for David Raya. But I would say Lunin, Courtois, um, David Raya, Ederson. There's so many keepers that I would say is better than Emiliano Martinez. I can't stand him, and it's not because he left Arsenal or anything. It's just his cheekiness and attitude against us every time we play him. But congrats to him anyway. Ramsdale, yeah, Ramsdale, straight. It's sad to see him at Southampton. I know against City he only had one goal conceded. So, but I do think Southampton are not going to survive, and unfortunately I think Ramsdale might have another relegation on his TV. Hopefully that's not the case, and I wish him all the best at Southampton Saints. Same thing with our boys Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe. Our Haaland boys at Fulham. Fulham's like a mini Arsenal now. Um, I think a lot of people are are getting so reactionary over the Ballon d'Or nominations today and the winners or on the list. The award lost credibility in 2003 when Nedved won over Henri. Like, this award is just kind of like a popularity thing. Even in 2004, Henri should have won it, and Nedved won it instead. It's quite crazy. David Raya not even making the list for the goalkeeper Ballon d'Or nominations is pathetic. Um, Hopefully David Raya is nominated next year for the Ballon d'Or. I think he quite deserves it. And David Raya has been phenomenal this season. So far this season, he's kept us in a lot of games. And for me, he's been so good. Even against Liverpool, he made some good saves whenever he was called upon to do so. Um, I'm going for Ethan Waneri hat trick. I'd love to see that. That would be great for his confidence. And we're seeing how Ethan's developing, not only physicality wise, but confidence on the ball and on his through balls, his passing, accuracy. James says Henri's biggest robbery, yeah, for the Ballon d'Or against Nedved in 2003. Yeah, the Ballon d'Or nominations, it seems like just a popularity contest, or most of the time it's a popularity contest, but for once, Rodri deserved to win it, even though I can't stand him because he plays for City, but he is a very good player, and for me, that's a deserved win for him. Guys, I am going to wrap up the stream now. I just thought I'd go live quickly to talk briefly about Preston, look ahead of the games. We're on the road now for a couple of weeks. We do have an international break coming up mid-November, and then Arsenal will be back home at the carpet at our gaff for the Forest game at home. And Forest are no pushovers. I know previously we beat them, we thumped them several games, um, but Forest this season so far, they've been quite well and they've started the season off well. Um, so I don't think that's going to be a walk in the park game. For now, we do have some tough away fixtures on the road, really close to each other as well. So every 3 days, it seems like we have a game coming up, thick and fast. And the season's now close to mid-season. Now we're getting there, and I hope everything would I hope everything would go well with us this season. I know in the Premier League, a lot of people are saying the red cards have costed us, more so the injury concerns as well. I hope we'll get a proper update of Gabriel and Timber. As I mentioned earlier in this video, if you guys haven't seen already, I did mention that Sammy Mokbel tweeted that Gabriel and Timber's injuries do not seem like it'll be long term, according to the Daily Mail journalist. So hopefully that's good news. And hopefully Gabriel is not a serious injury because he was so good against Liverpool. That back line he handled so well without Saliba. And if Gabriel and Timber were still on the pitch, Salah would not have scored that second goal. I'm not disrespecting Lewis Kelly. I know he's a kid and he's still learning to develop. But I'm fingers crossed. I'm expecting a fully fit squad after the international break. We'll reset. Hopefully, during that international break or somewhere where we have a break, these players can take a direct flight to Dubai like last season and come back shining and firing again. But we have 4 away fixtures before, including Newcastle and Chelsea. So these games are winnable. We just need to be serious, and we need to finish these games off when we have a lead, not sit back and invite pressure onto us. That's something that Arsenal tend to do quite frequently, and it costs us games. It allows the other team to get back into gear and to reposition themselves, and the players to get back into gear. Big up to Mohammed. Hope you're well. Assalamu alaikum to you. Bye, Melina and Roger. We all know why he's on crutches. Oh my God. C. Walder says neither Ethan or MLS look like look like any kind of drop off. I can't wait to see more of them against Preston. Me too. That's definitely a game if you're a fan of the Academy. To go and watch live, you can see the Academy kids that are gonna get an opportunity. I went last season, or sorry, I think it was this season. I went to Arsenal Spurs North London Derby, and Ethan scored in that game. But it was nice to see Mario Cozier-Dewberry. He's no longer with Arsenal. He's on loan from Brighton to Blackburn. But I still like watching him play. 305, big up to you, my brother. And I forgot to message Uncle Mace yesterday. I'm in London right now. It's quite late here, but I will message Uncle Mace and keep him in my prayers. I hope he has a safe recovery, and I hope he gets better. It's quite worrying that he's in the hospital again. I hope he'll be all right and back on the mend again. Guys, I am gonna wrap up the stream now. Thanks everyone who's tuned in. I thought I'll talk briefly about Preston, our upcoming fixtures, some score prediction for Preston, and my predicted lineup. If I hear any news updates of Gabriel or Timber, as long as I'm not in the flight on my way back to Canada, I'll try to go live again to talk about injury updates. As of now, Odegaard is going to be returning back to the grass for pitch training this week. Arsenal will have another training session tomorrow ahead of the game against Preston away on Wednesday. Looking forward to that game, and let's go get the confidence up for the youth against Preston. Big up to Ryan. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. We got to catch up. It's been quite a while, but I know you're busy with your new job, moving, and all sorts of things. And you sent me a bunch of films to watch, and I'll be honest, I ain't watched none of them yet. But I got a lot of catching up to do. Big up, Ryan. Thanks for your support always. I can't wait till we play Chelsea, but I know it's not going to be as easy as last season. It's not easy at the bridge, but and even last season we got lucky because of the mistakes Sanchez made, and Declan Rice scored that. But we'll see you at the bridge, Ryan, and hopefully I'll get you and Jared on for a preview. Maybe Matt J-Ball, but We all know he's a fraud. Hopefully, Matt doesn't see this. I do have some friends, good friends, who are Chelsea fans, and Ryan is definitely one of them. So big up everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am gonna wrap up the stream now. Um, Please, if you aren't already subscribed, I am on the road to 9,000 subscribers, which is quite crazy to be saying that. This channel has been active since the start of COVID lockdowns, which is about 4 years now. And thanks to each and every one of you watching on Twitter for your support. Some of you guys even messaged me with type of video ideas to do, feedback, and most importantly, thanks so much for sharing your views on Arsenal and um, your and uh your opinions. We'll see you all for a preview of the Newcastle game. Hopefully I'll get an opposition fan on and talk about the game. With that being said, guys, have a good rest of your night. It's late night here in the UK. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Like the video if you haven't already, and before you subscribe, if you consider subscribing, that red button below. Please check out my previous videos. I did a Liverpool match reaction. I went to the game and talked about the game right after I got back from the game. And I did some vlogs last season. Well, sorry, it's now 2 years ago when we were in Europa League. I also do other sports like hockey, basketball. I've done Raptors content, and most importantly, I do a lot of Arsenal content. I do sometimes talk about FPL, but I'm no good at it, so we're not going to go into that conversation. Unfortunately, I'm dreadful in FPL, and it seems like I'm very bottom of my own league. So that speaks for itself. With that being said, guys, have a good rest of your night. Take care, everyone, and adios. Big up, everyone. Take care. Adios.